Hello, hello. Hi, amigos, amigas. Good day to you all. Welcome to Lima, Peru. Welcome to this event. We're going to look for beautiful street art, murals, urban art in the city of Lima, in Barranco in this occasion. We are going to be on the search of new walls, and we will have the chance of a nice, relaxing conversation here in Barranco, in this moment at the shade of a tree. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hello, everyone. My name is Vanessa. I am your Lima City tour guide. I've been guiding in Lima for over 16 years. It is always a pleasure to have you in Lima virtually and also in person. If you come to Lima and you need a tour guide, well, I am your lady. Let me know, please, if you are here, and it would be my pleasure to show you every little secret of the city, every off the beaten path place, every gem of Lima. Today we're going to look for street art. This is not a planned tour, as you probably noticed already. It's a sort of like a surprise event. I want to search some murals and art with you all, as we are able also to see how is life in Lima in a regular morning. We're going also to learn a little bit more about street art. And if you have questions, just let me know, please. Anything, any question, I am very happy to answer. I am not shy with my answers, and please don't be shy with your questions, okay? So thanks to my friends who are joining to this live. I knew there will not be so many people joining because it's a just last minute event. Hola, Martin. No worries, no worries. Oh, it was a private event? Really? I didn't put it in private. Oh, I hope it is now visible to everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Well, I'm doing events on Facebook too. I got also some people on Facebook today, but I'm sure this is a learning curve. So for all of us tour guides, Martin, thank you so much for coming to this second event. If you were not able to attend to the Facebook event, no worries. I have already posted it as a recorded event on my Facebook. If you don't know what is my Facebook, what is the name of my Facebook, it has the exact same name like this channel, Adventurous Travel Guide, okay? So, and every time I'm learning something new, by the way, about technology. I am very new with this. Although I've been doing virtual tours for many years already, since 2020, but we are always learning because technology is always evolving. So to my amigos who are here participating on the chat, hola Marilyn, Caitlin, thanks for coming, Martin, muchas gracias, thanks for your participation. And let's begin with this nice, relaxing, friendly walk in Lima, in Barranco. So let me flip the camera to the other side and just to see a little bit of the ambience, what's around me. I want you to feel as if you were here with me, seated in this bench, enjoying this shade and observing with me the art we have around. There's art in different forms here in Barranco. Of course, our interest today is murals and street art, but we are going to have the chance also of seeing some monuments on the way. Barranco is a district of artists, of bohemians, of music lovers. So that's why it was not a surprise for me to see a monument dedicated to Gardel. Do you know who is Gardel? Here, my dear friends that are joining the live event, does this name ring any bells? This monument dedicated to Gardel in a very central zone of the district. In the first place, it didn't it didn't make sense to me because Gardel. There's also a dispute about where is he from originally. Many people believe he was Argentinian. There's people that say that he was Uruguayan. There's people even said that he was from Spain. Anyways, Gardel is sort of like the father of tango, which is the most famous music you're going to hear in Argentina and also in Uruguay. So, well, it is not really a surprise to see a monument to such famous singer, because this is a district of artists, of singers, of art lovers. So, as we keep walking, some important things you need to know when you are walking in Lima. Remember that Lima's driving is crazy, so you always have to be careful when you are crossing streets in Lima. Doesn't matter if in your part of the world pedestrians have the right straight ahead when you are crossing the street. In Peru, well, it's a little bit different. Okay, so we are trying to change that, but it's going to take some time. There are different forms of art in this district, and you can see here, for example, a place that is dedicated to culinary art, Isolina. It's a famous restaurant, and the food they serve in Isolina, I highly recommend this place, especially if you're seeing this event as a recorded event and you're planning to come to Lima. Isolina has in their cart food that is already gone from most of the restaurants, classical restaurants, traditional Creole restaurants in Lima. This is food of granny, granny's food, because it takes too long to cook like this. Nowadays, people are not interested in cooking, for example, a stew of lengua. Lengua is tongue. But tongue which is one of the types of meats that, because it's sort of like a viscera, people, they say, oh, that must not be delicious, that must be, well, any type of organ which is not, like meat, regular meat, takes time to be cooked, takes hours. I remember my grandmother used to marinate everything for hours. So that's why it's not so popular anymore to cook like this. So if you want to try something really unique and traditional, please go to that restaurant. Hola Lethargy, thanks for coming, dear. Thank you. Yes, beef is beef tongue. Yes, exactly, Martin. It's beef tongue. In the markets here in Peru, we still can find all kinds of visceras available, and that's something not very super appealing for vegetarians who are looking into a market tour. But this is just a disclaimer, no? In the market, we always see all of these products exposed, okay? But less and less, because nobody's really willing to spend, 6 hours in the kitchen cooking, right? So we want just to do it quick. So, but Barranco is a place where you can find art in all ways, and now we tend to think that the culinary movement identifies also as a way of art. We can start seeing a little bit of color over there. There is a tendency nowadays of using sort of like the palette of the colors of the rainbow in lots of different abandoned houses, for example. That's very common here in Lima, or in staircases in the low-income districts, to cheer up the spirit, to find the beauty in maybe ambiances that are not really that appealing at the first sight, right? What we're seeing here, my dear friends, is a pathway that takes us to the beach. If we have some time, maybe we're going to end down there. Would you like to go there? Just let me know if you would like to go down to see the ocean, or at least the closest we can be to the ocean. So we're going to continue over here, and let's give a look to some other street art pieces. We're going to a place that I've been informed we have some street art, but I don't go there usually. So yes, it sounds fun. Yes, Martin. Yes, Caitlin. I'm happy that you are willing to stay until that part, and we're going to see how the street art also is in that section, because I've been told there is new art in a section that I don't usually go. And maybe we can find also together some interesting street artists there, or we can talk about biographies of some street artists. This is one of my favorite art pieces. In my previous tour to Barranco, we passed by this piece. But it's always good to give a second look for my friends who were not able to be in that one, in that event, to this piece. Well, the artist creator of this mural is Jade Rivera, or Jade Rivera. Jade Rivera is known as one of the promising stars of the street art, contemporary art movement of Peru. He was born in the Andes. He was not born in Lima, as most Limanians are. Most Limanians are either from the provinces, or they were born in Lima, but they belong to families of migrants from the provinces, from the Andes. So one of his most recurrent elements, are decorative elements in his art, is hummingbirds, for example. He uses a lot of children in his art, and especially in this stage of his street art. Gracias. Because now he is starting to get into something different. Since the pandemic, he decided to go into a more sort of like well, it is very difficult to see the art like this easily, because he's using elements that are very ambiguous. You need a lot of interpretation also to understand the pieces of art. Like sort of like the Cubism, or maybe like the style of Picasso. So he's diving into different directions. But in here we can see what he calls his stage of poetry in the walls, right? So we have children here, which are the same size of flowers, or birds, or logs, or keys. He usually doesn't like to name his street art because he wants people to embrace the street art and name the pieces as they wish. There is another piece, another girl in this mural, and you can see also a key in her hand. Well, this is another of the elements, two elements that are very recurrent in the art of Jade Rivera, or Jade Rivera. Hola, Jazz. Thanks for joining. Thank you for coming here on YouTube. We are pretty much just starting. So, another piece of Jade Rivera, or Jade Rivera, right? And this one here is from 2019. So as I said before, he is always in the constant search of new inspiration, new styles, and now he has his own gift shop, he has his own museum. So what an amazing evolution a street artist like him has passed through. It is not easy. Most of the times street artists are not able to pass from the stage of just painting, random things on the walls. He, with his commitment, with his desire of showing what he had inside with the world, and believing, also trusting in his art, he was able to travel the world. You can find pieces of him in Europe, in Asia, in North America. Okay, so we're going to continue. And look at these pretty houses. This style you see here is what we call Barranquino Ranch. So this is the Barranquino Ranch. Barranquino ranches are, well, beach houses from the 19th century, early 20th century. And they are perfect for restaurants because they are wide inside. They are very well ventilated. They have usually a central corridor that comes from beginning to end. It connects the house, all in the center, and allows also better ventilation. Restaurants need a lot of ventilation because of the fact of the smells of the food, right? If we go across, let me just have a chance to show you what's in front. So we have here a house with the same style, Barranquino Ranch, but in this occasion, the house is a gelateria, and you can see that it has a very wide, at the entrance, like porch section, where the owners of these houses could just, eat something, drink tea, and relax. Okay, so this is another great example of this. So we have another case here. This is another house. Look at this. How beautiful, huh? Isn't it? How pretty. So imagine these families in the afternoon drinking the afternoon tea, having the chance of enjoying with the neighbors. Barranco is a district of artists for that reason too. This place was a site for rich neighbors since the 19th century. So only wealthy people were allowed to come into this zone to live, and that also allowed people to get in contact with well-traveled families, or also desire to travel to Europe. Back then, traveling to Europe was, the top of the ambitions of people, or of that circle. And also it was a trip that took long, right? So being something not done by most people, and also after a trip like that, you could also learn from different styles from Europe. And then they came here and they recreated those styles. Just let me show you this briefly. This house over here. So we have lots of houses in this neighborhood that imitate houses that are more European style, or they are hybrids, mixes of European style houses with local styles. For example, this element you see here, this wooden balcony, is typical of what we call the colonial style balcony. You'll see that in downtown Lima, in the historic center. But that element doesn't match with the rest of the house, for example, right? So these people were very avant-garde also, in a way. They had a lot of money to spread, to waste. and that tradition of Barranco being a very avant-garde place in terms of art continues until now. So this wall, this is a mural I don't get to see often. It's been long the last time I've seen this piece. And it was dedicated to a movie that I think it was from 2021 or 2022, Space Jam Part 2, I think it is. And the group, the collective that made this piece is N2S That Crew. If you want to follow them, they are very into cartoons and movies that are related with, for example, this type of, cartoon infusion with, real actors. So let me see also, would that be a lovely problem to have? So we have here the chance of see the detail of the piece. So this is an abandoned property, which for a long time was just a parking lot. But I think the owners are trying to find someone to buy the land, so they have closed the parking. And these artists, these urban artists, they are not as recognized as Jade Rivera, for example, no? So they are also trying to make the way into more international leagues, but they need to be exposed, more exposed. So that's why they usually collaborate in the collective to raise money for the paintings, for example, and they ask to, for example, someone, no, in a place that is visible, that owns a property, that owns the wall. Can we paint the wall for free, right? Because the owner makes nothing from this painting, but he's allowing them to make it look better. So that's how it works sometimes. For example, this wall could work good if it was not having that end that is more like cement. And this is a classical type of, wall, peripheric wall of abandoned houses, in this sort of like not very nice finished. And look at the broken glass on top. Now this is to avoid people to come into the property and squat. So if this wall was a little bit more smooth, probably people would like to use it as, say, a place for street art, because this street is really excellent. It receives lots of visitors, and what they want is to be pictured, to be put in Instagram and be tagged, and that will help them also to grow. Many of these artists cannot survive just from their street art, so they have jobs, and that they alternate with their passion, which is this. Oh, that's great, Jess. Thanks for following them. I'm so happy you can support them on Instagram, giving them a follow. And you're going to see also, be part of their evolution. Jade Rivera, or Jade Rivera, for example, I like him a lot because he's never steady. He's never, with no movement. He's always looking for transforming himself, looking for doing things different, better also. And that is the never-ending search of an artist, because what is perfection? What is beauty? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Oh, so here we are with this series of street art that is quite new for me. So we're going to give a look to them, and let's explore a little bit of what their meaning is. Well, street art, that's another thing most of people who are fans of street art like about it, is that in every place around the world, there's not just one way to do street art, or one theme, or one thematic. Street art is related with what's in the heart of the people, of the community. It is not just related with how the artist feels. The artist, it would be very selfish just to paint about how you feel. And you will not have the acceptance. You need in street art to have always a theme that can help people, to feel identified with, and you can become part of a movement. So in here, what I'm seeing is a very interesting series of elements which independently, they are not really connected. But let's give a look. For example, here we have a representation of an Inca. It feels to me it is an Inca. And look at this also, some words, random words. It says hipocresía, hypocrite. But I don't know if it's related exactly with the Inca, but it's just a random word added here. And the Inca is blowing, right? Or this could be an Inca, or could be a god, no, an ancient god, a pre-Hispanic god. Oh, and we have here this group, which to me feels like could be a family, right? Because we can see little ones here, someone that feels a little bit like a female and a male. They are on a boat, and the boat has a very powerful word. It says esperanza, hope, right? So this ancient god or element is blowing in the sea, blowing the wind, and directing this little ship, right? And then we have surfers over here. Of course, surfing is a very important activity. I think the flowers around the edge just finished. Yes, yes, yes. Let me just give you a chance of seeing the flowers around. You know, so these are bougainvilleas, by the way. Well, probably the artist didn't want it the whole image or the whole mural to be covered by the bougainvilleas. They grow very fast in here because, well, the climate is really good here in Lima for bougainvilleas. So we can see here these surfers. Sorry that I am not seeing in detail the chat, but the sun is very strong, and the reflection in my screen, cell phone screen, makes it look all black. But I hope you are seeing everything in detail. And surfing is a very popular sport here in Lima. We have a beautiful beach line, beautiful coast, excellent for surfing. And over here we have a, this element feels to me like Virgin Mary. It feels to me like the representations of Mary in this triangular shape that is also associated or was associated by the indigenous with the worshiping of Pachamama or Mother Earth, because Mother Earth also, the way how indigenous perceive her was sort of like the shape of the mountains, like a triangular shape, and therefore Virgin Mary, which was usually represented with a cape like the one you are seeing that, you know, started in the neck and it became, you know, like very big, very white, open in the bottom. It recalled to the indigenous the figure of the mountains. And well, she as being the Virgin Mary, female, that definitely also for them made certain connections. So that is my interpretation of that piece of art. From here we have another one, and probably you don't know who is this lady, but she is very, very popular in Peru. She is a former congresswoman, but before being a congresswoman, she was what we call a vedette. A vedette is could be a dancer, singer, an actress, comedian also. In Argentina, there are many famous vedettes also. The most famous that in Latin America we have Argentinian vedettes. So they were sort of like, they multitask in terms of art performing. And she decided to jump into politics, like the Cicciolina in Italy, right? Becoming also very popular because she had the spotlight of the television for many years. And she also created lots of beneficial laws for minorities. In particular, she fought a lot about for the LGBTQ plus community, also for work prostitutes, but also there were many reforms she tried to do in the time she was congresswoman. And she is one of the few congresswomen that, and congressmen, that was not pointed to enrich herself illicitly from her work as a congressperson. So, well, here we have a piece of art dedicated to her. You can see also a little bit of her personality through this piece made by Super Chato Eric. So here you can see his name, Super Chato Eric. You can follow him on Instagram, of course. We will continue also. This one here is from 2015. It says here in the corner from Fania 2015. Probably it is this person on Instagram, which I really hope. I haven't seen the Instagram in the description, but he may be in this corner for my friends who are looking for following the artist on Instagram. Oh yes, yes. Here it is, Fania Art. Okay, so Fania Art is the name of this piece, which very interesting also, not realistic at all, more cartoonist. Every artist, I like to see the different styles of each one of these artists and their uniqueness. It feels to me like a mother, there's a mother vibe in this piece. And you can see the element of the third eye added, which many of these pieces of art are looking also to go back to the roots, go back to Mother Earth, to the traditions, to an acceptance of who we are, by also understanding who we are. So from here, another piece. We have usually lots of contests of paste up in Lima. I think the country that has more developed street art is Buenos Aires, Argentina in particular. But we are also probably second or third place. This piece is quite big. It feels to me a water presence, ocean presence over here. And the signature, which is up here, belongs to Entes. Entes DMJC, the collective DMJC, which is related with a phrase in Spanish. That's something also in one interview. I've seen hundreds of interviews of street artists so far. And in one of the interviews that was made to Entes, to Joan Jimenez, he said that those letters come from the phrase dedos manchados en una jungla de concreto, stained fingers in a concrete jungle. And here we have this other element, this masculine element with birds, with no name, with no further description. Okay, so we see also Susi Diaz in the distance, and we're coming down for the last leg of our walk. So look how much I will be walking up later, but it's good. I need a little bit of exercise. If you are leaving a message here, I will check on the messages at the end because I don't see anything in my screen. It is because of the reflection of the sun. So I'm so sorry if you are leaving a message or a question. I will be going back to those at the end of the live when I will be below a shade. Okay, amigos? We have here, I wonder what is this building here, the 113. It seems to me that it's sort of like a backpackers hostel. It has the vibe, and outside, this is not a street art, but this is more like poems. So we have different fragments of poems of Latin American poets, writers. For example, let me go to this one from Martín Adán. He's a very famous Barranquino. He lived in Barranco. And in this phrase, we can read, La ciudad lame la noche, the city licks the night, como una gata famélica, like a hungry cat. So we have this kind of messages which are related with the ocean, are related with the winter or the fog, are related with the night. So let's keep going. Maybe we can see one more before we go. Sometimes it's hard to translate, but I think this one will be not difficult to translate. So let me check. And also, you will help me a lot if you give me a like also to this video, so in that way we can position a little bit better the video, or share it later at the end of this event. You can share it too. Es difícil hacer el amor, pero se aprende. It's difficult to make love, but one can learn. Antonio Cisneros. So we will continue. And we are going down to some last murals on the way down to see the ocean. Okay, so for most of you, must be late at night. Oh, look at this. This location is where part of a house used to be, one of these beach resort houses that we had back in the 19th century. This is the path that goes down to the beach. So this was the section where most people wanted to live in the 19th century, early 20th century. But well, later, as most of places who at some point were up high, you know, there's a decadence time, and then there is a rebirth time. So we are in the rebirth of Barranco. Oh, look at this. This is new to me completely. You know, what we are seeing is, you know, a gentleman over here. I don't know what he is doing. I see some feet. I see a stick. I see the number 15 in the corner. And no signature yet. And we have also this is a violin. I think he's playing a violin. And the name is, let me go backwards so you can see it more better. The name is up here. Well, let me tell you something. To me, this looks like a 3 and like a 4. 34, could it be? 34, 1, okay, Portocarrero. I hope really it makes sense, but please check him on Instagram, okay? So this is sort of like a violin played by an artist, and I'm sure the tree was not supposed to be in front all the time, but nobody is daring to cut a tree because art, okay? Art has to also adapt to the nature. Oh, this piece is very pretty. Let me show you this one here. This one is, was made from by one very famous street artist. Now he is recognized internationally for his neon color letters. The name of this artist is Elliot Tupac. Elliot Tupac. Elliot Tupac also comes from the central Andes of Peru. He remembers and recalls also about his early years and seeing his father making lettering in these boards for, you know, like all kinds of different events, usually concerts of what we call música chicha. It is a combination of the rhythms from, let's say, the Caribbean with the Andean rhythms. And the name that you see here, the phrase you see here is pensar con el corazón, or to think with the heart. And this is something the artist always tries to call, it's a call he has to people. We think too much, you know, with our brain, and in his opinion, we should be more open to love. And we have here this pretty girl painted from Balboa Lisette, at Balboa Lisette. If you want to look for her on the Instagram, there you have her, Balboa Lisette. And finally, over here, about a street art, because we are coming to the end, La Semana de Arte Urbano, the week of urban art, which happened a long time ago, but this was the entrance into the week of urban art in Barranco. That was also post-pandemic, but with the intention of bringing artists into this location and also sharing the movement, the local street art movement, with the world. Look at this element that you see here. Oh, we have here the group that was filming also. We have finally this element. This is a knife sharper, right? We don't see any more knife sharpers in Lima. It's very unusual seeing them. So the group or the team, the crew that was filming the movie has moved in my direction. By the way, if you were in my Facebook Live earlier, probably you've seen the moment of the beginning where this crew, these cameramans, this crew was filming, like right in front of us. So they are sort of like chasing me, or I'm chasing them, I don't know. And well, we're about to finish this event, and we're going also to look for a shade for the final conversation in a moment. I think I see already my shade over there, so we can also like talk to each other, and I can answer. Oh, good. Oh, look at this. And I have my shade. Yes, and I see you, Martin. So let me check if there was any question left drop here. Oh, I see. No, I see. There's no questions in the chat, in the live chat. The live chat is going to be seen also when the video will be posted after the end of this event. So, and let's go down for the final bye-bye of this tour. I hope you enjoy walking with me. Hope you found this relaxing, and you find these tours in Lima also enjoyable. My colleagues from Hago, a platform that now fortunately no longer exists, but it was the reason how many official tour guides turned into virtuality during the pandemic. It became an alternative for us to continue working virtually. We owe so much to Hago. So we have regrouped, and we are trying to support each other as much as we can in this next stage, which is being on our own, you know. So if you wish to support also my colleagues, my other colleagues on YouTube in particular, I have posted in my front page, in my introduction page here on YouTube, all the links, or most of the links of my colleagues, the ones that are doing tours on YouTube. So if you don't know like other people doing this, please go to my front page on YouTube, and there you're going to see all of my colleagues. Like, I have friends in New York City, in Amsterdam, here in Latin America, in Brazil, in Salvador de Bahia, here in Peru, my dear friend Elizabeth, she's doing events also. If you want to see how's life in the Andes, you know, versus Lima, please follow her. Give me a follow also if you can, that would be super wonderful. Look how pretty today's ocean looks like. I mean, this is like a summer day, blue sky, this beautiful turquoise color ocean. We are live, by the way, here in Lima. This is not edited. This is the way how the city looks like at this time in the day, and not in summer. We are in fall. So lucky us to have this view in a fall day. So well, let me now flip the camera to me, and I will turn also under the shade so that way you can see me a little bit better and I can see you. So let me have a seat here and flip the camera. So it's been really a pleasure to have you today. Thank you so much for coming, and please feel free of sharing this link, this event, with anyone that you wish. You can post it in the social medias you use. If you know of anyone that is coming to Lima, let them know that They have an official tour guide here that is very happy to have him, her, they in the city. And also something even more important, if they are coming to Lima, and maybe they are not able to come with me, let them know that it is very important that they support official tour guides. We have in Peru laws that protect official tour guides, like in Italy, for example, like in many different countries where guiding and tourism has become a very important activity. So we have laws that protect tourists and tour guides. No? So in Peru, we have official licensed tour guides that are ready to receive you all with wide open arms. So well, thanks so much for joining, and hope to see you very soon in another live event. Stay tuned, please activate the bells so in that way you can get notifications of any adventure I will be having, which are going to be last minute as today. So take care, see you soon, and bye bye amigos, ciao. If you wish also to support this event, you can do it with a donation of any amount on PayPal and also on Patreon. Oh, my pleasure, amigos. Gracias, gracias. Thank you to my friends who are just joining also to my channel, and to my old friends. Muchas gracias, and God bless you all. See you. Bye-bye.